Have you ever wondered how a daughter could overthrow her own father, becoming queen in his stead? This is not a plot from a dramatic television series, but a real event from British history. The year was 1689 when Queen Mary II, alongside her husband King William III, seized the throne from her father King James II, in what would later be known as the Glorious Revolution. The drama, the complexity, the intrigue. Join us as we unravel the intriguing story of Queen Mary II and the Glorious Revolution. To understand the ascension of Queen Mary II, we first need to understand the reign of her father, King James II. James ascended the throne in 1685, stepping into a realm fraught with religious tension. As a Catholic monarch in a largely Protestant nation, his reign was seen as controversial from the get-go. James II was not a man to shy away from controversy, however. He championed policies pushing for religious tolerance, a move that, while noble in theory, proved to be a thorn in the side of the largely Protestant English Parliament. His decision to appoint Catholics to key positions in the army and government only added fuel to the fire. But it wasn't just his religious policies that stirred discontent. His attempt to centralize power and bypass parliamentary approval for his actions was seen as a direct affront to the democratic principles of the time. This was a king who was not afraid to challenge the status quo, but his actions also served to alienate him from many of his subjects. By the end of his reign, the tension in the air was palpable. James II's controversial reign had left the nation divided and on edge. His policies had stirred up a storm of discontent, and his disregard for parliamentary approval had caused a rift between the monarchy and its subjects. With the nation on edge, the stage was set for a revolution. Enter William of Orange, a Dutch prince with a keen eye on the English throne. Born into the esteemed House of Orange, William was far from a stranger to political intrigue. His marriage to Mary, the eldest daughter of King James II of England, was a strategic move, a play in the grand game of power. But it was more than just a marriage of convenience. William and Mary shared a deep bond, their relationship fortified by mutual respect and shared Protestant beliefs. Now, William's ambitions extended beyond the borders of his Dutch homeland. He yearned for a greater prize, the English crown. Yet he was a man of strategy, not brute force. His plan? To be invited to invade. And so, with his eyes firmly set on the throne, William began to weave a web of alliances and promises with England's Protestant nobles. These nobles, disenchanted with King James II's Catholic policies, saw in William a beacon of hope. They extended an invitation, a plea for him to bring his army and restore Protestant rule in England. It was a daring move, one that could easily tip the scales of power and plunge the nation into chaos. But the stakes were high, and the rewards even higher. With an army at his back and an invitation in hand, William of Orange set his sights on England. Now we arrive at the Glorious Revolution, a bloodless coup that would forever change the face of British politics. In the winter of 1688, Britain was on the brink of a seismic shift. As the tension mounted, King James II, feeling the pressure of the imminent revolt, made the decision to flee. In a desperate bid to retain his throne, he tossed the Great Seal of the realm into the River Thames, an act of defiance that would ultimately be in vain. While King James was literally and figuratively casting off his reign, William of Orange and his wife Mary, King James's own daughter, were gaining support. They were seen as a beacon of hope against the absolutist rule of James. Their Protestant faith also made them more favorable in the eyes of the majority, who were wary of James's Catholic leanings. William and Mary's popularity was not just due to their religious affiliations, but also their promise of a constitutional monarchy. William, in particular, was seen as a liberator, someone who could free Britain from the shackles of James's autocratic rule. But what about Mary? How did she feel about all this? After all, she was about to overthrow her own father. But Mary was pragmatic. She understood the need for change, and perhaps, more importantly, she understood her role in that change. In February of 1689, the crown was offered to William and Mary. They accepted, and so Mary II and William III became the new sovereigns of England, Scotland, and Ireland. Mary's ascension wasn't just about a daughter taking her father's place, it was a symbol of a new era, an era of constitutional monarchy and shared power. And so the glorious revolution had taken its course. A king had been deposed, a father had been overthrown, and a daughter had risen to the occasion. The face of British politics had changed forever. So Mary the daughter had now become Mary the Queen, but the story doesn't end here. William and Mary were now the rulers of England, Scotland, and Ireland, but their rule was not without its challenges. As they ascended the throne, religious tensions were still rife across their realm. You see, England was predominantly Protestant, while Ireland and parts of Scotland were largely Catholic. It was a delicate balance that needed to be carefully maintained. William and Mary, both staunch Protestants, managed this with a level of wisdom and fairness that was both surprising and commendable. They sought to appease both factions by ensuring religious tolerance and freedom for all, an approach that significantly reduced religious conflicts during their reign. Their approach to governance was another aspect that set them apart. In a dramatic departure from their predecessors, William and Mary embraced the idea of a constitutional monarchy. This meant that they acknowledged the authority of Parliament and agreed to govern in accordance with the laws and customs of the realm. It was a revolution in itself, shifting the balance of power from the monarchy to the Parliament. This change signified the birth of modern British politics, where the monarch is a figurehead and the real power lies with the Parliament. But perhaps the most significant achievement of their reign was the passing of the Bill of Rights in 1689. This landmark legislation set out certain basic civil rights and clarified who would be next in line to inherit the crown. It also included the provision that no Catholic could ever become a monarch, a decision that was influenced by the religious tensions of the time. These were monumental changes, ones that required courage, conviction, and a firm belief in the principles of justice and equality. In navigating these waters, William and Mary not only secured their place on the throne, but also reshaped the political landscape of Britain. In conquering these challenges, William and Mary laid the foundation for modern British governance. The reign of William and Mary had far-reaching impacts that can still be felt today. Their reign was a pivotal turning point in the history of the British monarchy, marking a significant shift from the model of absolute monarchy to that of a constitutional monarchy. No longer would the monarch wield unbridled power. Instead, the monarchy became a symbol of unity and continuity, with the real power resting in the hands of the Parliament. This shift was not a mere political adjustment, but a revolution in the truest sense of the word. It marked the beginning of a new era in British politics, where the Parliament, composed of the people's representatives, was rightfully empowered. This, in essence, was the birth of modern democracy in Britain. William and Mary's reign also saw the strengthening of the Parliament. The Bill of Rights, passed in 1689, was a significant milestone. It outlined the rights and liberties of the people and the limitations of the monarch. This monumental piece of legislation is still in force today, serving as a cornerstone of British constitutional law and a beacon of democratic values. Furthermore, their reign helped to establish the principle of parliamentary sovereignty, which is still a key feature of the British political system today. This principle asserts that the Parliament has the ultimate authority over all political matters in the country. It can make or change laws, and no other institution, including the monarchy or the courts, can challenge its decisions. But the impact of William and Mary's reign goes beyond the realm of politics. Their joint rule symbolized the possibility of equality and partnership in leadership. Mary II, a woman ruler in an era dominated by men, did not merely exist in the shadow of her husband. She was a queen in her own right, influencing the course of events and shaping the future of her kingdom. So, their reign was not just about a shift in political power, it was about breaking stereotypes, defying norms, and paving the way for a more equitable and democratic society. So the next time someone asks you about a real-life drama worthy of a television series, you'll have quite the tale to tell. The story of Queen Mary II and the Glorious Revolution.